Hello there and welcome to the new Power BI tutorial, and in this tutorial I will show you how you can connect Power BI with Microsoft Access data and imports its data and tables. So Microsoft Access, as you know, is one of the common data source or the database which is provided by Microsoft, and it's one of the very oldest data set that you have. So let's go ahead within the Power BI and see how we can import it. So here we are within the Power BI, and if I click over here on the get data option, then it will show me the list of data sources. Now I have this Access database over here. So once I click on the Access database and click on connect, it will show me where I want to, or the location from where I want to fetch the data. So I have the information here in the very simple database, which is a sales database. And as you can see, the extension that it has is ACCDB, which is Access Database File. Now, if you are using the old database, then you may have to choose a different settings like the OLADB provider and all. So I will show you how you can also go through via that option. So I'll just double click for now here on the sales database, and it will going to get the information about the table it contains. As I mentioned, it's a very simple data set, and this is the table that I have. If I want to preview, I have just selected that but not enabled it. Just selected it so that I can see the preview. In case if you have, let's say, 15, 20 or even 100 tables, you can basically select each any single table or multiple tables if in case you want to load the data. So here, this is the contents of the table which is present here. Now I want to load it, so I will just enable that and click on load. Once I start loading, you will have the processing which is going on right now, and in a couple of seconds, and you can see 96,000 rows is what it has imported. So if I go over here on this table option, which I think it will going to enable in a minute, it's maybe doing some processing on it. Yeah. So you have these columns which has come from that database, and if I come over here, the same database table, you will going to see it over here. Now this is part of your data model by which you can start creating your query. But like I mentioned, if you want to import multiple files, you need to just keep on enabling the section, the checkbox, and it will going to import all of the files, and it will be shown over here in the data model section. Right now you have only sales file, but when you will select multiple files or multiple tables, they will be part of your data model over here, and then you can even establish the relationship among the various different tables. So that's a very simple and straightforward approach of importing the data from Microsoft Access. Now coming back to the second option about OLADB, which is useful in case if you have an older database. So you will come over here on the get data again, and in the other you will find the option of OLADB and even Odbc. So these are the two options that you have that will help you connect with almost any database. So if I just click on the OLADB and click on connect, it will start showing me the connection string, which you can even build it as well. And if you will see, you have the various different options like Microsoft Office 12 Access Database Engine and couple of other options in case if you have those historical data sets. And then it's about building up, selecting this and building up the connection, which I am leaving it because it's a very straightforward approach of providing the data source, its location and everything based on the database that you are selecting, whether it is SQL Server or whether it is from analysis services or Microsoft Access 12.2 database engine for OLADB provider. So that's quickly about how you can even utilize or you have the option of OLADB. Generally it's not directly available, so usually you get to know that, or you may be wondering where this option is present. So the option is in the other section. So that's about it, and how you can import the data from Microsoft Access within the Power BI. And now I'll meet you in the next video. Hello there and welcome to the new Power BI tutorial, where I will show you how you can connect Mysql with the Power BI. So Mysql is one of the very common data source or the common database which is provided by the Oracle. Earlier it was an open source one, but I guess it was taken over by the Oracle, more from the enterprise edition perspective. So, but the basic idea I wanted to give you is, if you have the MySQL instance running or on the local machine, then how you can connect MySQL with Power BI. So right now I have the MySQL which is running on my local machine. So if I just come over here, you will see that it is a local instance that I am running, and the user is root, and it's connected on this particular IP localhost, which is nothing but 127.0.0.1 or 127.0.0.1 and then colon 3306. So what it basically helps us in the connecting the MySQL workbench. So if I just click over here, you will see that a database is present, which is the default database comes from the MySQL for the purpose of practice. So it's Sqlite database, and it has the various tables like the actor, address, awards, category, and all that. And once we will create the connection, we can import all of this data within Power BI for the purpose of data visualization. Now let's go ahead and come to the Power BI. Here we will click on the Get Data option, and within the Get Data window we need to search for MySQL. So MySQL, if I select, I will going to get this MySQL database option, and then after selecting it I will click on Connect. Once I'll click on the Connect, it will ask me the server which I mentioned, 127.0.0.1, and after the colon you will have 3306. Just need to make sure that you are having this same connection. So if I just go to this home, 3306, all right, and the database is nothing but Sqlite. Now if your database is password protected, it will ask you the password. In my case it is not, so I'll just click OK, and then this is the database which is present. It may happen that you are using Windows authentication, so in case password protected database is there via the Windows authentication, that the window will show you how you want to authenticate via the Windows authentication, or there is a database password, so you need to provide that to get the information. Now over here, if you see, there are various different tables which are coming, and then you have some components as well, like the actor film. I think these are nothing but the views that is present, and then down there you have some procedures or functions. So what I'll take is some of the tables, like for example I'll take actor and address. Let's say I want to load these two information, so I'll click on load, and it will going to take few minutes to load both the tables, and then we will go into the data model just so that we can see if we can identify or create a relationship. Now if you see, you have the actor over here and its related fields, and then you have the Sqlite address, which has the information about the addresses. I believe these are related to the actor. And if I see, you have address ID, city ID, but there is nothing which is related to a relationship perspective. So what we can do is, first option is we can go into the data, and here the table will start showing. So if we select this table or over here, so to show this you just select any field over here and it will start showing you. Similarly, if you come over here, once the table is displayed, then as soon as you will select any other table, in this case Sqlite address, it will start showing you the detail. But if it does not show like earlier, just select any particular field from this and it will start showing this. Now let's go into the model. So right now if you see in the modeling, we have these two tables like actor ID, first name, last update, and then address ID and all, but we don't have any other table or any field which is common. So in this case we cannot establish a relationship. And let's say we want to add any new table, then we can come over here, which is manage and connect to recent sources. So once we click over here, you will see the connection string that we established. So if I just click over here, it will start showing me all the tables. So we have the actress, address, awards. So let's see the awards, whether it has only ID, award name and all. Let's select the film, or maybe the film actor. It must be having the actor ID. Yes. So it will help us establish the relationship. So I have just enabled that and click load. So directly from here you can load the table. So as you can see, it is loading you the details, and by default it has created this relationship. And if you will just select it, it will show you the actor ID is the field on which the relationship is being created. So that's about how you can connect to MySQL database within Power BI, import multiple tables, and by default how Power BI is able to create a relationship. But in case if it is not, then you just need to pick this field, drag it over this particular field over here, and in that way you are manually enforcing the relationship because you know more about the database, because it may happen that those two fields are not same, and in that case you need to manually enforce it. So that's about it, how you can connect to MySQL, establish the relationship. But we'll meet in the next video with some more information about a different database. Hello there, and welcome to the new video of Power BI, where we will going to look at how we can connect Power BI with Wikipedia and import data and tables. So Wikipedia, as you would see, is one of the information hosting, or where the information is present almost about every topic. And what I will probably going to do is I will have something which is related to NBA Wikipedia. I will just search by that. I just want to get some statistics information. So this is the National Basketball Association, the NBA page, and down there if you will see, you have some statistics or some tables like this one, which is about the division, the team, city, state, arena, capacity. So if you want to fetch this information, how you can fetch it within Power BI using this link. Similarly, if you go down there, you will have some more information about the team, win, loss, total, year in which they won the NBA, or they won the championship, or when they were runner-up. So if you want to fetch this information, we will see within Power BI how you can fetch it. Okay, so what we will do is if we come over here, we have the option of web. So we don't have to go in all the different places. So here, if I just select this, come back to Power BI and click OK. So what it will do is start doing the evaluation of this NBA. And what error? Please enter a value. Okay, I have entered the value and I'll click OK. Alright, now it has taken up. And now it will do the processing and show us the various tables that it can identify, and we have to choose the right one. And the right one, if you will see, is related to the championships, when they won the championship. So if I just click it over here, you will see the team, win, loss, total, year won, and year runner-up. Then you have a couple of more tables like the regular season, so no information is here, tables. So this is the table which was about the division, team, city, state, arena, capacity, coordinates, founded, joined, and all that. Okay, you can basically check other tables as well, what is present over there. But let's say we want to fetch this information. So this is good, and I will just select that and click load, and it will going to load the data within the Power BI. As you can see, it is right now evaluating and now creating the data model. So here we have the information. If I go to the table section, and it will show me the table information as to the team name, the loss, the win, the total. But as you can see, this table has the requirement of further bifurcation, or further data massaging, because this is the information we cannot work with when we are working within the Power BI. So we will look into it in a separate video altogether as to how we can massage this information and get it in a proper order. Like for example, year one, then we can multiple time repeat the Minneapolis or Los Angeles Lakers and get their information in each individual row, so that whenever we are preparing any line chart to show the trend information or any other chart, then it should show us the proper information within that. But that's very quickly about the connection. That's the main topic of this video, about how you can connect to Wikipedia and get the data inside the Power BI. Hi there and welcome to the new tutorial where we will going to look at how we can connect Power BI with Espn website and import data and tables. So here we have the Espn website, and as you can see right now what I have is the Espn crick info, which is nothing but the cricket information, and it has this tab which is stats. So over here, if we look at, you have a couple of options, like you have home, you have Icc Rankings, players. So maybe what we can do is just look at the Icc Rankings and see what information that it contains. Now this is true for any other website wherever it contains any data set or any table related information. Okay, I have some information problem with my internet connection. Let me check. Alright, so my internet connection is back, and what do you have over here is the Icc Rankings, and it has a couple of different rankings like the Icc Test Championship. So all those countries who play test matches, Icc ODI Championship, all those countries who play the ODI or the one-day international cricket, and Icc 2020 rankings, and down there you have Icc Women's ODI, Women's 2020, and all that. So what I'll do, I'll copy this and I will come back to the Power BI. Within that, I will go to the web option, and within web option I will provide the URL and I'll click OK, and then it will going to establish a connection within the Espn and going to give me the various tables. So it may take little time based on the internet connection, and looks like my internet connection is little bit slow, but that depends. Again, I said if you have a fast connection, you will get it pretty fast. Okay, so here we have the tables, which is 25th August 2020. That means these are the ones which is the country playing the test, and then ODI, I guess 2020 and all. So let's say we want these two tables maybe, and click load. Once we click on load, it will start loading the data for these two tables, and then we can as of now, as you can see, 25th August and 16th September is not reflecting the right information. So if I just go to the Icc Championship over here, what it is picking up is this data, as you can see, but we can rename the table to this one. So if I just copy this and go back here, it is still loading it. Again, it is based on the data connection that we have, so may take a little bit time. So let me pause it here. All-right, so data is loaded, and over here if you will see, we have these two tables. So 25th August is nothing but the test matches, so we should have the option of renaming it, and I'll just rename this, and this is for the ODI. Let's make it ODI, and let's probably change it to test only. Rename test. So just right click and give whatever name you want, and if you come to the table section, as of now it is not showing you anything, so what you can do is enable the table or expand the table and just select anywhere on these columns and it will start showing you the table. Now if you want to see the test table, just click on the test table and you will see the test table. And then if you will have this option, or sorry, if you go inside the model option, then you will see the relationship, a default relationship that is being created. And if you hover your mouse over to this, it will show you on which basis the relationship is being created. So rating is probably the column which is being picked up. If this is not true, which is the case in this scenario as well, because we want a relationship based on the team. So we can change that by right clicking over here and clicking on delete, and we will say delete relationship. Now what I'll do is I'll just drag this on top of the team which is present here in test from ODI, and if you will see it is now, the relationship is now based on the teams which is present here. So that's about how you can fetch the web data like this, prepare your own dashboard, or if you want to do your own analysis, or if you are really interested in doing the predictions and all, you can do the analysis by fetching this data and get it inside Power BI. So that's about it, and I'll meet you in the next video with a new topic. Hello there, and welcome to the new Power BI tutorial, which is how you are going to connect the Sqlite database and import data. So Sqlite database is one of the very common database because it is portable. You can even keep it in your system as a local system, and whenever we create any proof of concept or a small scenario, Sqlite is very powerful. Even in the mobile applications, many mobile manufacturers basically provide the Sqlite database as an inbuilt database to manage the files and the system files and altogether the different files required by the mobile. So in this video I will show you how you can connect the Sqlite database and you can import the data. Alright, so let's go into the Power BI. So here we are within the Power BI. And actually, before going into the Power BI, what you need is the Odbc driver if you not have it already. So if I go back, and here in this second window, if you see, what I have done is just made a search on the Sqlite 64-bit Odbc driver, right? And you will get this first website, Sqlite Odbc driver. And down there you will see you have couple of options. What I recommend is, if you are having the 64-bit system, is download this. Otherwise you have this one. So I have already downloaded this and installed this exe file, and that's what you need to do. The next step is creating the DSN, the data source name, and for that I will just write the DSN, and you will see that Odbc data sources is coming over here. And this application or this window will ask the addition of the DSN. So we'll click on add, and here we will going to provide the Sqlite. So we will choose the Sqlite 3 Odbc driver. It will appear only when you will do the installation of the Sqlite 3 Odbc driver, which is this one which I've shown you there. So once I click finish, another window will come. And the database name is Chinook, so I can say Sqlite _ Chinook or space Chinook. What I really like is saying underscore because that goes with the programming flow. After that, we need to provide the database name, so I'll click on the browse, look at going to the location, and I will search for Sqlite here. And in Sqlite I have sample database, and in sample I have Chinook as one of the database, and I'll click open, and I will just click OK and click OK. So now I need to go into the Power BI. Alright, so here I am in the Power BI. Now I go into the get data option, click on more. I need to go into the Odbc connection, so I will jump on this other section. And here I have this Odbc, because if you remember, that was the Odbc window where we created the DSN. So once we click on connect, it will start showing us some of these options like Amazon Redshift, Excel file, Microsoft Access. Down there, if you see, you have couple of more options, and the one DSN we created, Sqlite Chinook, is present here. So if I just click OK, it will start asking us is whether any database credential is present, default or custom is present, or Windows is present. So I will just going to use my current credentials and click connect. It will do the processing in the backend, and if you will see, all my tables which is there in this database is present. Now if I want, let's say, the customer, the employees table, genre, maybe invoices, so whatever we want, I mean, you can just select and click on load, and once you start loading the information, it will come into the Power BI for the purpose, for your own purpose of data manipulation or any visualization that you want to create. So let's go into the data section. Down there you see the customer table is present. If you want to look at the employees table, the employee table is present, and here the relationship is there. So right now the relationship is not there because these are the two separate database or two separate tables altogether. When we will import more table, we will even able to create the relationships. And suppose if there is a need or you have a need to add more table, so you need to come over here, manage and connect recent sources, and click on this most recent one, Sqlite Chinook. If I just click it over here, you will see the table has come again, and here we have these playlist, customer, employees. Maybe what we can take is albums and artists, and click on load. So now it will start loading the information into the table. And if you will see, if I just hide this pane, based on this artist ID, there is a connection by default made by the album and artist label. But that's about how, first of all, you can connect, import this data, and then add more tables. If you need to remove the tables, you can always come here and you have the option of deleting the table from the model. So with that, you can do all the database management from Sqlite to here based on the analysis or the data points that you need. So that's about it, and now I'll meet you in the next topic. Hi there, and welcome to the new Power BI tutorial. And in this tutorial, I will going to show you how you can create Power BI table chart. So table chart is one of the very common chart which management always asks, or the user always asks, because that shows the information in table in which historically or traditionally people are used to of seeing the information. Though charts is always interest them, however, you cannot take the table away. So we will see in this video how we can create the Power BI table within the Power BI ecosystem or the Power BI tool, and format it. So before I move ahead, quick information. As you can see, I am using this sheet which is present in the description, which you can access, and it has the links also of the YouTube videos. So you can directly search and jump on a particular topic, or you can go one by one, and feel free to share with anyone who may want to learn from it. Alright, so let's go into the Power BI and see how we can create the table chart. Alright, so here we are within Power BI, and on the right hand side, just beside to the slicer, you have this table. So once you click over here, the table is present. It just has one field which is values. So what we will going to do, we will, let's say we want to create the table which shows that by region what is the sales and what is the profit. And for that I will select the region, and then I will select the sales, and then I will enable the profit. So by default all of this information will come over here, and a table is being created. Now this is a very simple and basic table which is showing you the region. If I bring it in the middle, shows you the region, the sales, the profit. However, you may want to format it based on your user need. Also do the conditional formatting as well. So how we can do the conditional formatting, even we can see that. So for here we go into the format, and you have first of all a couple of style related formatting. Right now the default, but there is something which is minimal, which is present over here as a style, and you can see what is the style over here. And then you have the bold header in case if you need this sort of a style. Alternative rows coming from traditionally from the Excel. You have contrast, you have flashy. So feel free to use this and see whether it makes sense for you. But for now, what I'll choose is maybe minimal. I think this is fine. And in the grid, do we want a vertical grid or not? As you can see, vertical grid was present, so if I enable that, horizontal is anyway enabled. What should be the grid color? What should be the thickness? Similarly, horizontal grid, what should be the color, thickness, padding? If you want to increase the padding, as you can see, it is, spacing is being increased as we are increasing the padding. And then we have the outline color. What should be the outline color and the weight of this outline? And down there, the column header, where what should be the font, what should be the background, you can customize from here. Outline, bottom is where the outline, but you can see bottom and top, both the places outline is present. Auto size column width is fine, I suggest, but you can enable or disable it as per your need. And text size, what should be the text size? So you may want to increase this little bit in case if this is how your user have been used to of seeing the information. So I guess 12 is good. Alignment, what should be the alignment? I guess center or left or right, up to us, or we can choose the auto in this case. Word wrap, in case you have the a long name for this, so you may want to enable that so that it is coming in one single column. Then you have the values. So what should be the font color, what should be the background color, alternate font color. But what I really want to show you, so again, before I show you conditional formatting, which I wanted to show it as we use it frequently, the total. So total is coming over here. Total is enabled. What should be the total label? So total sales or grand total, whatever you want, you can show it. Outline, which this is the black outline, so top only, top and bottom both, you can choose that. Then you come with the field formatting. What should be the region, and for region, what should be the font, what should be the background color and all. And down there you will see you have the conditional formatting, and you want to increase or you want to enable it for the background color. So this is for region, but no, we don't want on the region. So what we will do is we will choose the sales and we will increase it or enable it, and as you can see, the background color is now enabled. Similarly, if I want, I can choose the profit and enable it, and then the profit is also enabled for me. So that's mainly I wanted to show you the background color which can be enabled, and you have the advanced control to change the color. Let's say if you want a different color altogether, different value, different summarization. Sum of profit is something right now that you have, but if you want instead of sum, you may want median or you may want average, you can change that. So that's mainly I wanted to show you this feature which always needed when you are creating the table chart. So that's about how the different formatting options which are available. Apart from that, as you would see, all the options are very straightforward and available almost every other chart. So feel free to experiment with that. So that's about it, and I'll meet you in the next topic. Hello there, and welcome to the new Power BI tutorial where I will show you how you can create the Power BI matrix chart or the pivot table, as well as how to conditionally format it. So we will see step by step how we can create and format. And before that, just a very quick information that this sheet is present in the description where you can search for any tutorial and jump directly using the link which is being provided here. And yeah, you can even share it with others as well who may want to learn from it. So let's go ahead and create the Power BI pivot table chart. Alright, so here we are where we earlier created the table chart. So I can just delete that, and to create the matrix chart, I will select it matrix over here, and I'll add the rows. What should be in the rows? Let's say in the rows we should have product category, and in columns, let's say we should have customer segment, and in values we should have sales, right? So if I just expand this is the chart which is being created for us right now in a very simple matrix chart. However, it can be more complex than this, but I want to show you a couple of formatting before we move on. So formatting is present here. First of all, the style. If you want a different style like the minimal style, you have bold header. So I suggest you experiment with this, and according to your needs you try to see what style is making sense. Then you have the grid, whether you want the vertical grid or not. So I'll just enable that. And we have this horizontal grid. And then down there, the formatting for the column headers and the row headers. So very straightforward. What I want to jump directly onto information, the grand total, where you can format the background color and everything of that grand total and the text size. Then we have the conditional formatting. So conditional formatting is something which is useful in either in a simple table chart or a matrix chart. So here, if we just enable this background color, you will see that based on the sales, the conditional formatting is enabled. So wherever the sales is low, it's highlighted in red. The background color has changed to red, and wherever the sales is high, it's been highlighted in the green color. You have the advanced control, where right now the sum of sales is what we have taken, and these are the colors that is being chosen. But if you want a different color altogether, let's say for example this one, then you can even choose that, which will start showing you this information. Also, in this advanced control, we have the option of choosing any other field and the summarization, what we want to take, and accordingly our entire table will going to change. So that's mainly about how you will do the conditional formatting, but if you will see, rest of the options are like the regular chart option. Now let's talk about how we can add more information. So for example, if I just go ahead and select it and go into the field, along with the product category, I also want to give flexibility to my users to expand it and see the relevant subcategories. Then in that case, what I may want to add is drag this to the subcategory. So now the subcategory is not enabled, but if you will see, this menu is now enabled. So if I click on the technology over here, nothing happens. What I need to do is I need to enable this. Click to turn on drill down, and now if I select technology, my technology related information is coming, and to go back I need to select this. Similarly for furniture, I can select this and then go back using this. Similarly for office supplies, this is my table for the office supplies. Also, I have the option of using this, go to the next level hierarchy. If I enable this, you will see that all the product subcategory information is coming over here. So this is one of the options which is available, whether in the rows or in the columns. You may want to add any number of columns that you want, and if you see, the conditional formatting and everything is working accordingly. And with the help of this, you can go back to your Power BI matrix chart. So that's mainly I wanted to show you how you can apply the various columns into the rows, or various fields into the rows, and fields into the columns, and the measure field, and create your pivot table, or the matrix chart is what they are saying in the Power BI. So that's about it. Now I'll meet you in the next topic. Hello there, and welcome to the new Power BI tutorial. And in this tutorial, I will show you how you can create the Power BI key influencer chart. So key influencer chart, as the name suggests, highlights the dimension values which is influencing a lot to the metric. For example, which product is basically influencing the sales or the profit or things like those. So if that is what the requirement we have, we can use the pre-configured key influencer chart and get the insights. So before that, this sheet is present in the description. So if you want to look back any other tutorial, you can look it back. Along with this, there is another report which is present related to all the tutorials of from my blog, which is more than 800 tutorials, where you can search for any relevant Python or Click or Tableau or Power BI related tutorials. Alright, so let's go into the Power BI and see it in action. So here we are within the Power BI, and this is how the key influencer charts looks like. So if you see, we have this product subcategory as one of the dimension, where we have the multiple product subcategories which is influencing the sales to increase. So we have two options over here, whether we can see where it is increasing, or we can see if it is decreasing. So it will show this particular category which is indicating that because of this the sales is decreasing. This is the most influencing category, along with the labels, paper, pen and art, so on and so forth. So we can go back to the main report, and this is basically what we were going to create and show you, and I'll show you how even you can use the top segments as well, which is present here, to indicate the sales are more likely to be low. What are those segments? Okay, so what I'll do is remove this by selecting this and removing it, and from the visualization we can come to this particular visualization, which is key influencer chart. So we'll click over here on the key influencer. Let's expand this little bit so that we can see it properly. Now this is where nothing is being configured. So we need to come here on the fields. In the fields, we need to first specify the metric. It can be sales metric, like what sales are going on. It can be a profit. So anything which has like sigma, we can choose that. And maybe, you may want to look at the discount on which project or in which product you are giving more discount. So all of that information we can evaluate from the key influencer perspective, like for which product is influencing the discount a lot. All right. So for that, what we can choose is the sales. As I enabled, the first field is populated with the field sales. All right. So now once we have this, we can go to explain by. And for explain by, we need to choose a dimension, and the dimension what I want to choose is the product subcategory, as it has a lot of product subcategories that we want. However, we also have the option of we can even have the product names as well as part of the going to a lower levels. All right. So if I just expand this and minimize this and minimize this, so we are back to the same chart, and I will put it in a focus mode. So what do we have over here is on the left hand side, we have these product subcategories, which is shown as the key influencer, which is influencing sales to increase, and it is what mentioned over here. Copiers and fax is the highest one. Then you have office and machine and their relevant values. So these are the main influencer and these are the total values. Here you have the option where you just want to view the influencer, so you can enable that, and you will only see these categories which is present here. Now coming back to here, you can choose the value from here and basically get a particular same category highlighted over here. And on this chart, if you see, you have the average as well. So this is the average excluding the selection. All right, so this is the complete average. All right, now if you see, you have the option of increase. You can also see the decrease, and these are the categories which is enabling you or which is impacting the sales to decrease, like the product subcategories rubber brands, product subcategories labels, product subcategories paper, and art and supply. So if you see, these four categories is something the management may need to see what's really going on and whether it is good enough to continue with these categories or not, and maybe afterward these categories. Okay, so once we have this, then we also have another option is top segments. So the commentary which is here is we found 5 segments and ranked them by average of sales and population size. So average of sales is high, and what is the population size is basically your size. And select a segment to see more details. So let's go and select probably this segment number 2. So for this segment, the product subcategory is paper, and if you see in this segment 2, the average sales is 364 and 1.41k unit. So that means there are like a lot of units which are being sold, but still, which it is indicating that sales will more likely is low. So that means effort is going on here, however not enough output as compared to the other key influencer which is increasing the sales. So this is something which you can have the two section, the key influencer section and the top section over here, which you may want to use it. Apart from this, apart from these configuration and these views which you can see, you have the formatting option. Let's say you want to format it maybe from your organization perspective. So you have like general, which is common, but I'll come to analysis visual colors. So maybe the primary color is your primary organizational color. For example, you may have something like red as something which you want to indicate for negative output, or maybe from your organization perspective, you may have something like branded color like this one. Just could not select it. Yeah, this one. So that is something you can change. What is a primary, what is a secondary color, primary text color, secondary text color, so on and so forth. And then if you have enabled the drill down, which we have not done in this case, and but if it is enabled, then what should be the drill down color? Rest of the properties, if you see, is similar to what we have. So these are a couple of properties which you can change. Also within the analysis, you have these option enables, like enable key influencer and enable segment. If segment is not enabled, then you will not find that. So if you are just interested in giving this particular section, then you should disable this. But for now, let's enable it. Analysis type is continuous because we have taken the sales, which is a continuous data type. But if you have the categorical data type, which is giving you the counts, for example, the count of orders, the count of customers, then by default you will going to get the categorical. But you have the option of choosing it from here as well. And you want to enable whether you want to enable the counts or not. In case of categorical data, this will be enabled by default. So that's very quickly I wanted to show you how you can configure it and how you can use it within Power BI and finally interpret it. So that's all about the key influencer chart. Now I'll meet you in the next video with the new tutorial. Hello there and welcome to the new Power BI tutorial. And in this Power BI tutorial, I will show you how you can create the Power BI decomposition tree. So this is the 38th tutorial of Power BI, and if you want to access the previous tutorial, you can look at for this sheet for Power BI specific tutorial and jump directly by using this link, and the title is present here. Also, I have another report within the description from where you can search all my videos which I have posted on the YouTube, which is more than 800 videos, and all those you can search and filter based on your condition. So that's a different report than this, but this specific sheet is only for the Power BI. Now let's look at the Power BI decomposition tree, which is nothing but the decision tree sort of a structure, which helps us understand a little bit more in depth about the data. Alright, so let's move ahead. Alright, so here is a decision or decomposition tree, or a decision tree, which I love to call. This is the structure which is more visual in nature and very easily, one can understand this. So what is going on over here is we have the sales of a company, which is divided between three main product categories: technology, furniture, and office supplies. And for each product category, we have the product subcategory. So for example, technology, we have office machine, telephone and communication, copiers and fax, and computer and peripherals. And for each product subcategory, which is mentioned here as well, you have the particular products over here. So you will see that the highest sales is coming from the product, which is Polycom View Station ISTN. Close to $255,000 of the sales is coming from here. Now we have two options over here, whether we choose the high value or we choose the low value. So if we choose the low value, it will show us those products from where we are getting the minimum revenue. So from here, product name, if we click, we can choose high value, we can choose low value. Similarly, if you want to show the telephone and communication related product, we can just click it over here, and all the product which is related to the telephones and communication will be shown, and you can have the high value and the low value based on the choice you want to see on the main frame or main area over here. Now, apart from technology, if you are interested in looking at furniture, you will see that furniture, if you select, all the hierarchy, every hierarchy will be changed based on that. Also, you can remove the field from here just if you are interested here, but this plus sign indicates that there is one more additional field in which you can look into, more like a drill down sort of a feature. So if you click on this, you will see two options. Like earlier we were viewing from the drop down over here from the field, whether we want to see the high value or low value. So if I choose the high value, it will show the high value item first. We can change anytime from here. Alright, now let's see how we can create it. So what I'll do is I'll just delete this. From the visualization, I will come over here is the decomposition tree, and if I just expand this, you will be able to see it easily. So let's go into the fields section now. In the field section, the first field we want is the analyze. That means the metric, like the sales or the profit. So let's take the sales as the example we took earlier. So sales is coming as the base field. That means you want to analyze the sale of a company. After that, once you have sale, you have the option to explain by. Now explain by, we need to choose where we want to start. So we want to start highest from the hierarchy. So we'll start with the product category. Then we have the option of choosing the next, which is the product subcategory. So product subcategory will come over here, and then we have the product name. All right. So these are the three categories, but you are free to choose any combination that you want. Like if you are interested in customer segment, or maybe as in practice, what you can do is take customer segment and customer name, and then finally the product subcategory and product name, just to better understand from which customer and product you are generating most of the revenue. So as I told you, it can go whatever way you like based on your business requirement. All right. So once we have this, we can choose this plus sign, and plus sign will show us that high value or low value. So, or if you want to jump on to any particular dimension directly. So let's go step by step. And we have this technology over here, and then we choose this plus sign and we go high value or low value. And then you see that if I choose product name, I jump directly to the product name, which I can remove this from here. If I want to go to product subcategory, I just have to choose the high value because it is showing the next level is the product subcategory. So let's click it over here. Then we have got the office machine, and then if I again click on the plus sign, choose the high value, you will see the tree structure or the tree map sort of a structure where it is present. So this is very quickly I wanted to show you. You have a couple of formatting features like the tree, what should be the tree density, or what should be the primary color, what should be the deselected connectors and connector shape. We have not covered that, slightly advanced in nature, but the most basic functionality is something what we have covered. And if you see in the analysis section, it enables the AI split like the one that you are seeing it over here. And if you disable that, it will not show that sort of which was intuitive enough to view the visualization, right? So with that, you can enable, disable based on the needs. What is the analysis type you want to do, absolute or relative? I would suggest if you are just starting, then keep the default parameter absolute, because relative is relative to the value that you are selecting, which is slightly advanced once you have clearly understood it. So that's very quickly about how you can create the decomposition tree or the decision tree or the tree map chart, any of the one which you can say, because these are a couple of names which is given in the industry to this type of a chart, which is helpful understand the proportion of each value is contributing to the main category. So that's about it, and I'll meet you in the next video. Hello there, and welcome to the new Power BI tutorial, how to create and use Power BI QA component. It is also called as the natural language processing component because you can enter any question in a normal English language and get the answer an output in the form of the value which you are looking for. So we will going to see how we can create it, and just a quick information that all of this entire sheet is present in the description if you want to look at any previous videos that I have posted, and their title and the link is present here. Along with that, what I am posting is another report, the Google Data Studio report, which is helpful if you want to search any other video other than Power BI which I have posted on my channel, like related to the Tableau or the Click technology. Alright, let's move on to creating the Power BI Q&A component. Alright, so here we are within the Power BI, and the Q&A component is present over here in this section, the Q&A. Alright, if I just expand this, so here it is telling you that ask a question about your data. try one of these to get started. What is the profit ratio by customer name? So if you just click it over here and press enter, you will see this is by customer name, this is the profit ratio. So what it is doing is, based on the field, based on the information present here in the fields, it is picking up the values and displaying you the output. Similarly, we can ask what is sales by product category. So this is the product category. So if we choose the product category, this is the product category. If we just remove that, it will give us the suggestions here. What is the sales by product subcategory? So this is the sales by the product subcategory. Let's try and see what is the sales by product subcategory. And so we see with and is what you are getting is the customer name, and we can see region, for example. What is the subcategory? So this is showing you for each of the product subcategory and each of the region. Now the chart has become really busy after we have adding that. So what we can remove is product subcategory, and what we have is the order priority. I think that should be a good one. Order priority. Yep, there you go. And once you do that, you get the order priority, where medium priority is something in Office Machine you are seeing a lot. In tables, you have the high priority orders. In binders and accessories, you have a lot of high priority orders. So this is a sort of the output that you can get with the help of this simple natural language processing, which is being given to you for the purpose of producing the visualization. Now here is the visualization, but if you see what is total sales. So total sales is 14.9 million, which is form of a KPI, which you can get. Or what is the total profit by customer segment? So you will get the profit by the customer segment. All right, apart from this, what you have is this. Let's say you want to turn this Q&A result into a standard visual, then you can click it over here and it will be the horizontal bar chart for you. Also, if you want to go in depth into the Q&A from the perspective of teaching the Q&A to understand people better, you can just click it over here. Here, some resources being given like field synonym or review question, suggest question, teach Q&A. Apart from this, for each of this section which is present here, the subsection to go into it, and you can basically go a little bit more in depth as to what is really going on. You can have even the review question. So for this you need to sign in. So I'll just move on to teach Q&A, and this is where again you can enter the question. If this is mostly from teaching the Q&A perspective, if you want to teach to your end users. But then apart from this, manage terms if you want to manage any term, but again you need to be part of the licensing if to use this. And then you have like the suggest questions. So you need to enter a suggest question about your data using everyday language. So this is again similar to the front end which we were doing, like asking a question about your data. So a little bit support is being given if you go into the settings over here. So apart from this, you have this suggestion, enable or disable if you don't want your user to get the suggestion, which I don't know why you don't want that, but in case since the option is given, you can disable it. Also, a couple of settings that you can do is like what should be our background color, what should be the question front end color, the size and the question family, accepted underline color, so on and so forth related to the question that you are asking. Also on the suggestion piece, few of the settings like formatting of the suggestion. Let's say if you are not really very much impressed by what is by default setting is by Power BI, then you can choose your own setting. But this is an amazing filter, or the amazing component which you have, especially for those who do not have a lot of idea or as to what they want to see based on the situation. They just want to make sure that your visualization or there should be some space within your dashboard where they can choose whatever they want to enter, like a normal English language. And I think with little bit of guidance, they should be able to do it very easily. So that's very quickly about the Q&A component or the natural language processing component which you have within the Power BI for producing the visuals.